Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. I know. I've been really busy. I believe last time we talked and discussed was I was working on a Lincoln MKZ 2010. Right now I'm working on a Volkswagen 2014 Passat, Volkswagen Passat. I will go ahead and get into the Passat. That's going to be in the next video. What I did want to discuss today is how to sell a car, right? Or I'm sorry, how to buy a car. We'll get to how to sell a car after this. After this video, I wanted to keep and do a touch point on some of the high level items that without making this video too long. We could hit budget, we could hit reviews of cars, so let's get on with it. So budget, right? How to set up a budget and how to stick by the budget, and we could also get into the picking up a loan on a car, right? So I mean, without sounding Dave Ramsey-ish, I advise to not go with the loan. This is especially true for the students who are just getting into colleges and trying to get their degree, trying to get their first job, career job, right? So I advise them to not get into the loans by getting the loans 3%, 4%, whatever they charge you. But set up a budget and get a decent car. We're talking Toyota, we're talking Lexus, we're talking Hyundai, Subaru, Honda even. So set up a budget, get like one of the older models, of Toyota or Hyundai Sonata, something like that, and buy yourself a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 car. Now, if you have the budget, meaning you have a $10,000 budget or $15,000 budget, buy cash. I recommend cash. I always recommend cash. Try not to get into you could say the loan, right? Because the interest is going to add up, and you may or may not have the money to pay monthly bills, and it's a whole sort of issues. So get cash. Really good, quick advice, especially for the students. Pay cash and don't get a loan. So now we're getting into the research of the car. You have a couple of websites. You have Edmunds, that gives you a good review of the car. You have cars.com, you have Cars USA, news.com. You have a couple of items that you could go and get a review of the car. They do a nice pros and cons, right, of the vehicle. So I think doing proper research is important. Like, for example, 2011 Toyota Corollas had a recall. You can't just go with the brand. They had some issues with the engine. 2011 and 2012 Toyota Corolla. So there's some lawsuit that happened with that. Do your research, find out, okay, even though it's a branded car like Toyota, there are going to be issues. So it takes literally 5 minutes. My friends call me and say, hey, what type of car, since you work on cars, what type of car should I buy? Well, you have Google, right? You could basically, in a sense, do Google search and figure out, okay, 2009, 2008 Toyota Highlander are basically your best bet. You could find that out. You could get the reviews, 5 stars or 4.8 out of 5 or whatever, right? So you could get your reviews from there. Sometimes you have, not sometimes, but I think Edmunds also has reviews by the people who are driving the car, the owners, the actual owners. So you could read through those as well. Now, where to buy the car, right? I'm proponent of Facebook Marketplace. I think it's wonderful. Not only can I, research on the car and read the description, but also I could research on the guy who's selling it. Is he a trusted person? Is he someone that you could go to the house and just get the car, right? 9 times out of 10, he's gonna have like the high school he went to, the city he grew up in, and all that stuff, right? So you could basically do your research. I can't count how many times I was selling a car, and a couple of the people wanted to come see it, and I tried to be as transparent as possible. I try to invite them at my house just so they feel a little bit comfortable, and I don't like giving out my address to some random person. If I don't feel comfortable, if I just see a name and one picture and no history of where they grew up, what college they went to, or what high school they went to, I'm not going to respond to them. So Facebook is good for that. Of course, you have Letgo and Craigslist and all these other places that you could buy. Yes, eBay sells cars as well. Of course, you have cars.com. That's a little bit more legit. But if you want a used car under $10,000, Facebook Marketplace is the way to go. Now, the location, right? If you want to buy a car and the guy says, hey, meet me at the Wendy's parking lot, great, you're at a public place and you're good to go, right? But if you think about it, why is he asking you to come there, right? He's not being as transparent. He's not inviting you to his house. There could be something wrong with the car. So you have to think both ways. Yes, you're in a public place, but maybe the guy doesn't want you to know where he or she lives, right? Or lady. Yeah. So before picking up a car, have a checklist, right? Does the radio work? Does the tail light work? Does the headlight work? Does the horn work? Of course, you got to check where the car turns on, right? Are there noises coming out of the engine? Are there leaks, right? Is it coolant leak? Is it the oil leak? Is it puddle underneath the car? Was the car cold when you came to see it? This way it was parked there for a couple of days. You could quickly, before turning the car on, even check underneath. Are there drop spots, right? If it's lots of oil leak, then you may have to think twice to buy the car. But if there's small drops here and there, fine, you can get that fixed. Usually a valve cover gasket, or the timing belt cover leak. If it's a timing cover leak, of course, there's a lot more involved in terms of repair. Or it's an oil pan leak, right? Maybe you could change the oil pan, which is not extremely bad. If you're doing it yourself, it's not bad at all. If you're doing it outside, it's a couple $100. So yeah, think of those things, but have a checklist. There's multiple checklists that you could find online. Title, okay. Title, check the title. Is it a clean title? Is it a clear title? Is it a bonded title? Is it a rebuild title? Is it a salvage title, right? So to me, if I'm keeping the car a long time, if I'm buying it, I'm not selling it, I don't care about the salvage. For example, I'm thinking about buying a car for my daughter. If it's a rebuild or salvage title, yeah, is it a fender bender? They fixed it up and everything's good, and the engine's fine. I'm gonna buy the car and I'm gonna drive it a long time, maybe $50,000-$60,000 until I get the value of the car, right? Get my money's worth. But if you're trying to sell a car, make sure it's clean. It's a clean or clear title. There's multiple different title types. There's junk title. There's flooded title. There's police or theft title. There's so many other titles, but the main ones you need to think about or be familiarized with is the clean, rebuild, salvage, and bonded title. Bonded title is just you bought a car and you couldn't get transfer the car to your name because the guy messed up the title or signed it incorrectly. So you went to the city and got a bonded title, meaning got it transferred to your name. If you have any questions, just leave a comment. We could get into the answers there. Check the history of the car. Carfax is, great, yes, but there's other ones too that you could look at. The 9 times out of 10, the entire history is not going to be on there. I look for one owner cars if I'm buying it for myself, because that first owner, when he bought the car, he was excited, and he took care of the car a long time, right? Made sure the oil change was done, the tires were taken care of, the brakes were taken care of, there's no noise coming in the car while he's driving. And that was basically his sweetheart, right? He wanted to take care of it. So I love looking at one owner cars. That's one of the things that I learned from my dad growing up, and he's still a proponent for that. And now I'm a proponent for that, and I've just had wonderful luck with one owner cars where I'm the second owner, and there's practically zero issues I have to basically deal with. I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have anything else, any questions, leave in the comment. I didn't want to make a super long video. Of course, we could get into more details. Each one, like for example, budget, right? I mean, I could have an hour and a half video just on the budget, or even checklist. So if you take a look at it and had a chance to ask questions or comments, leave it underneath in the comment section. Give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe. Thank you so much.